Page 227, exercise 17.1. In this unit, they're introducing you to 20th century style music. 20th century, you can read about it. The harmonies get a little wild, and we're exploring more and doing more, and it gets really interesting, sort of. Now, this piece on 227 was a Debussy piece. He's actually more back in the 1800s, but he was revolutionary. He had his harmonies were different. They call him an impressionistic composer, and he hated that. He didn't want to be associated with that. So you can read about him and his life. It's really interesting. For full disclosure here, I have not studied this piece on this page, but I will point out a few things that I see that if you're interested in doing this, again, I'd encourage you to go get the whole thing if you're going to learn it. But watch out on the slurs and the staccatos. Now, like the beginning, you have that slur, and then when you have a staccato and a slur, you simply disconnect them. Now, you can call it a mezzo staccato is what they call it. Mezzo meaning sort of halfway, sort of staccato. You can call it a long staccato, you call it disconnected, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Just disconnect them. The notes, so it's... Now you see the half note? So measure 4, right hand half note with a staccato and an accent. Well, it's not a short staccato. Just don't hold it out the full length. It's like a long staccato. You hold it out. There's no set time you hold it out. You have to feel this. Just don't hold it out the first 2 beats. Again at on measure 8, you get the same thing. Now on measure 9, starting on measure 9, they have a little note there, RH over. They don't need the note. You can tell by looking at the notes in the music what's going on. Your left hand is here playing these octaves. So the right hand has to go over it in the middle of it, and you're doing this. Takes some practice because the hands are in each other's way. You just have to work that out really, really slowly. You may have to have your right hand way up here in order and you got to lower your left hand down, get it out of the way. That's a personal thing. You work that out so that you can get these to work. Okay, the point is you're not going to have the right hand under it. Put it over. Going back to the top here in the left hand, we have 8th notes with slurs, so you just disconnect them, and their fingering is fine. And I think a wrist there. Now that would be staccato. That's fine, except it's got that slur line. So these are long staccato. Just disconnect them. Work out the fingering as best you can. There is kind of a standard fingering when you have parallel thirds going down half steps. Like they've got, these are minor thirds. It doesn't matter. And when I see that in music, I tend to just automatically do the fingering I'm accustomed to for parallel thirds. And after a while, you will develop it. If you haven't yet, you will develop that fingering. You'll run across it and you'll just learn it. Because you can use it over and over and over. I haven't studied this fingering to see if that's it or not. In measure 8, in the left hand, you have these staccatos. And the second beat, they have a flat sign in parentheses in front of the D. I don't know why it's in parentheses. I don't understand. If you know why, tell me. Because the flat sign has to be there if you want a D flat, because there's no flats in the key signature. So why are the parentheses there? I don't know. It's not like they're, oh, by the way, this is what we're doing. You really do need that flat there if you want a D flat. pick up to measure 17. We got a lot of tied notes here, and what we're going to do is hold them down with the fingers. We got here. Hold that down, and with the right hand is here. Now keep the C down and play the D. Now play the B flat again, holding the left hand down. Now keep the left hand down and add the F. B flat again, and then the G, and hold the G down and play the B flat. So we just build up this chord. So it's here. That's a lot of what Debussy did. He would play with the tones, he would play with the sounds, and you get these wonderful sounds out of his music. Now watch the fingering then, starting on measure whatever it is, at the off tempo at the bottom. We want the melody. Watch the fingering, because we want to do this with the fingers. I can't tell that there's any pedal in this at all. I don't know this piece, as I said, so I don't know if you're pedaling it or not. I'd have to experiment with it and listen to what are the professionals doing, because I can usually tell if they're using pedal or not. And that's really about all I wanted to say about this piece. You can, if you want to learn it, by all means learn it. It's a fun piece, I guess. I've never played it, but it kind of seems like a fun piece.